everyone, I'm your host Pensyfan and welcome to the March 2023 Pensyfan Periodical. This is a monthly news series which covers most of the major railroading headlines from around the world, as well as my opinions on them. We have a lot of articles to go over today, so with that in mind, let's get rolling. First off, we're starting with the end of another controversial rail project, as SEPTA has halted progress on the King of Prussia Norristown line extension for the foreseeable future. This comes after funds for the project were denied by the federal government, with the 4-mile extension to the mall costing about $4 billion. Yet, many transit enthusiasts are actually happy about the news, since it wouldn't have gained much ridership to begin with when compared to nearby buses, and that it overshadowed other transit projects such as the Roosevelt Boulevard subway extension. Likewise, very few transit enthusiasts supported KOP rail, as it only serves a few suburbs and the mall, while using a lot of twisty bridges to weave between highways. Alan Fisher made 2 videos explaining this story better than I could, and he also hosted in-person meetings in Philly that showcased support for the subway extension over KOP, so it's likely that the support for the subway and outcry against KOP rail could have been spearheaded by Alan Fisher and other transit enthusiasts like him. I don't really have any strong feelings about this project to begin with, since it's not restoring any abandoned streetcar or interurban lines, and I would also rather fund transit projects in regions that need it more, especially projects that started construction decades ago and were abandoned halfway through. In regards to what lines I would like to see restored in Philly, other than Roosevelt Boulevard, I would say SEPTA routes 103 and 104 to Ardmore and Westchester, since they were formerly part of Red Arrow Interurban, as well as countless streetcar lines that were bus-attuted, such as routes 6, 23, 50, 53, 56, and 60, and maybe the Lehigh Valley Transit Company to Allentown? It's all about raising awareness for a cause that you feel supports the needs of the many, or by calling for changes in current plans to better serve the community, as the cancellation of KOP rail is a notably rare example of transit enthusiasts coming together to cancel a rail project in favor of another. Speaking of which, here's some interesting news. Shareholders and the Department of Justice are now suing Norfolk Southern for lost profits resulting from the East Palestine wreck. Thunderbolt 1000 Siren Productions was featured in a news article about railway safety. LA Metro hardened my comments on one of their shorts asking them to make more memes. China currently retains the lead in post-pandemic recovery for rail service. Badgers are to blame for damaging the Dutch railway network. An anime dating sim now allows you to file your taxes. And Amtrak 184 has been repainted in the Phase 5 from its Phase 4 Heritage livery, which it received during Amtrak's 40th anniversary. There are various claims as to why this former 40th anniversary unit was repainted, one of the most common ones being the 40th anniversary being outdated now that Amtrak is celebrating 50 years, and even though the only counterpoint to this claim would be repainting Amtrak 132 in the Phase 2 Heritage livery after Amtrak 66 was wrecked, this happened 5 years before the 50th anniversary. I'm honestly sad that they couldn't just leave 184 in its Heritage livery, especially since it might be replaced by ALC 42s in the coming years, but I guess Amtrak doesn't want to get called out on Twitter for still running outdated anniversary units on their system. So get your photos of other 40th anniversary units now before they get repainted. Just don't tell these outdated livery complainers about all the patched units on BNSF. Now here's a follow-up news section for articles covering stories from previous episodes. Derby has been selected as the headquarters for Great British Railways. SNCF is to further develop MagRail. Union Pacific is to transfer commuter operations to Metra. The LaGuardia Air Train has once again been cancelled in favor of increased bus service. Where's our NW subway extension? RJ Corman has repainted one of their Jeeps into their 50th anniversary livery. Rock Island Rail has placed their NW2 into service. GECX 5989, one of the few remaining EMD F45s, is to be repainted into Southern Pacific Santa Fe colors. And the Surface Transportation Board has officially approved the CPKC merger, thus starting another new era in Class 1 railroading with an official start date of April 14th. The only reason this isn't the top story is because I covered it as a top story of the year in 2021, when the merger was initially announced. In other news, the NYC subway placed their R211s into service on the A line, NYSW has repainted their SC70M-2, Transport for Wales has placed their Class 321s into service, CRRC has released battery hydrogen hybrid multiple units, Stadler's to supply trams to Alicante and Valencia, Renfe is to order EMUs from CAF, while Pomerania is to purchase more NUAG EMUs. Silicon Valley Bank crashed and is now owned by First Citizens Bank. Siemens is to construct a new railcar plant in Lexington, North Carolina. WES Commuter Rail could be extended to Salem, Oregon. ScotRail is to take over the Caledonian Sleeper. The Moon and Scenic Valley Railroad has acquired a CNWF-7, Delaware-Lackawanna has acquired Nickel Plate Road 190, and Phil Lang is the new general manager for Boston's MBTA. I've been lucky enough to have personally met Mr. Lang on a number of occasions during his time on the LARR, and he's done an amazing job improving the road's reliability, so I wish him all the best for his tenure in Boston. After all that, it is now time for this month's Meme of the Month. This month's Meme of the Month is... Join us, KCS. And now, the top story of the March 2023 Pensyfan Periodical is... Andy Byford to join Amtrak! One of the greatest leaders of the New York City subway system has recently moved to American Intercity Rail, as Andy Byford, affectionately known as Train Daddy, has recently been named Executive Vice President of High-Speed Rail for Amtrak. After years of working with the subway agencies of Toronto, New York City, and London, Byford is moving up to larger rail networks as he'll be working on intercity rail systems in the US starting April 10th. It's not exactly known what is meant by high-speed rail for Amtrak, since it seems like a relatively new term that supposedly focuses on developing passenger rail corridors, hopefully outside the Northeast Corridor, as there are various tasks associated with high-speed rail in itself, ranging from land usage to track curves. But whatever the position, many people are sure that Andy will give nothing but his best for the job, as he's been known for almost single-handedly improving the transit system he's worked with through small but key improvements rather than small but flashy projects. Considering how many transit officials have relatively little experience in passenger rail when compared to Byford, and with many politicians using transit projects as a means to boost their platform, it's encouraging to know that people like Byford are gaining more leadership positions and focus more on practical improvements instead of publicity stunts, as I wish him all the best in his projects. With his years of experience on various types of railway systems around the world, Train Daddy is ready to take America by storm as the world anticipates seeing what new opportunities he'll bring to Amtrak and beyond. Thank you everyone for watching this month's episode of Pensyfan Periodical. There have been a lot of real news headlines for the month, and it will be very interesting to see what the future has in store for all of these articles. Thank you again for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Have a good day.